speakers for tonight for this digital marketing talk. Yeah, our speakers. The first one is Chili Chen from Dalian University of Technology. Yay! And then the second one is Rania El from National Business School and Management from Morocco. And then the third one, Leslie Du from Foreign Trade University, Vietnam. And then Ansuman Sahu from International Business Scripps University from India. And then the last one, Bilal Zia from University Nottingham, United Kingdom. Give applause. For further information, that if you want to know more about our event and then our activities in this co-working space, especially you can start to follow our Instagram. So in there you can find a lot of experience, a lot of like the information that what is exactly our upcoming event, and then what is exactly the opportunity for the young people, and then for each of you who have a business or something that you can directly follow this one. Next. So as usual for the event, it could be like improvement for us. Actually, like it's really important to give us evaluation. So for this kind of event, probably that there is something like you still like didn't maximal enough for these kind of things. So you can fill this survey and then give feedback for us as much as I can. So we hope that for the next event we could be improve more and then like be professional to create and then help kind of event. So that's all for me, and thank you very much.
Doing a presentation on different topics. The topic I've chosen is business development. The reason I went forward with this topic is because it's something that I've researched about. It's something that is related to what I study at university. To introduce myself, my name is Bilal Zia. I am a first year student at the University of Nottingham in the UK. I study finance, accounting and management. So a little bit more about business development. I'll be completely straight. So before we start with the textbook definition of business development, you obviously, how many of you here are somehow related to business or somehow interested in business? In the future, you might be wanting to start your own business. Is there anybody? Yeah. What kind of business?
Maybe about food or about fashion or beauty.
Fashion.
Beauty products.
Yeah, that's a good
for
one.
women.
Yeah, I want to start business about education.
Education.
Yeah, it's the big one, but I don't know yet the specific one.
Alright, you haven't specified it yet. Alright, that sounds like a plan. I think. Anybody else? Alright, good. What about you?
I would like to build edu-tourism because I love education, I love tourism, I love literacy, and I would like to mingle those three aspects.
Sounds very good. So tourism, food, fashion, and education. Alright, so what business development is, you can see the textbook definition here, and very broad definition, but what I believe business development is that you take, as a business and as a businessman, you take your opportunities that are presented in front of you, and you use them to develop your business, your existing business. The very simple definition is the process that is used to identify, acquire new clients and business opportunities to give growth and profitability. So as I said, you take your opportunities which are given to you and you use them to grow and increase your profitability as a business. And of course, for business development to happen, for your business to grow, for your business to develop, you need a business strategy. That is a very obvious point. And a business strategy is simply your way or your plan to work towards a business development. The World Bank and IFC ranking in 139 place out. These are a few negative points, but they shouldn't be demotivating you because they're also one reason for taking such a long time is because of the security and because I think it can be seen as a good point because they want to make sure that everything goes smoothly and everything is done according to records and plans. So I think that is a good point. a few positive points is that the investor protection is relatively strong in Indonesia. It is ranked in the top 50 in the world, so that is good for all of you who are planning to start a business in Indonesia. Paying taxes, there are massive taxes again, and very good point I found was trading across borders. Indonesia is largely relying on global trade, so because of the location of Indonesia, where Indonesia is located, and because it's an island, I think it's very good, and because of the labor force you guys have, I think it's a very good point that its trading is very easy for Indonesia. And if you want to start a business, I think this is a very important point. You need to consider that trading, imports and exporting is relatively easy for Indonesia. Your business, it can be a very broad thing to consider. I mean, where do you start from? Where do you want to sit down and where do you start your homework? So to create a business, to develop your business, there has to be a business plan. And I think the first and main point of a business plan is definitely defining your target audience. So what is a target audience? Now let's say that you said that you want to start a tourism business, an ecotourism business. Now you need to decide that who are the people you're going to be targeting. Is that the tourists within Indonesia, the locals, or is that the tourists outside Indonesia, people who come from outside? Similarly for education, it can be, you need to decide which sector you will be targeting. Will you be targeting younger students or will you be targeting the older ones? So I think a very important point when you sit down and start making your business plan is to decide what your target audience is. The second point is research their issues and buying behaviors. This is directly related to the first point. Once you know what your target audience is, you need to research what their issues are, what the problems are. You need to know that when tourists come to Indonesia, what problems do they go through? Cultural shocks or food problems or traveling problems. So you need to know that what's the problem these your audience are going to face if you want to develop your business in an efficient manner. The third point is identify your competitive advantage. I think in business and in economics, this point is very important. Identifying your competitive is a very important point because this is where you have the chance to differentiate your product from your competitor's product, and this can be a major selling point for you. This is how you can improve your brand image. This is how you can make sure that your customers continue buying your products over time. So I think this is very important. The fourth point is choose your overall business development strategy. So your business plan is one, and then you need to have an overall target, which is your business development strategy. So you need to know that when you're making your business plan, you need to have an overall goal to work towards so that you make sure that you stay focused on one goal throughout that whole journey. Choose your business development tactics. Again, related to the previous point, you need to know your tactics towards the development and specify how you will monitor implementation. Again, related to all the other points, these points are interrelated, and you need to know that when you're developing towards your goal, when you're working towards your goal, there has to be a way to monitor your progress. Otherwise, there's no point of working towards your goal. You need to know that in this month, I worked this much, and today we stand here, and in the next month, I'm going to be working this much and working towards my goal further. So you need to know and you need to monitor efficiently if you are to develop your business efficiently. So, very important question when it comes to business development is you need to ask yourself these questions. That, all right, you're trying to develop your business, but what is your goal? Are you trying to win the competition as a whole, or are you trying to just start a business from scratch? Are you trying to just survive by making a living, or are you trying to make a fortune, or just learn as a business, or make a difference? So, for all of you, for different businesses, the question can differ. For example, for ecotourism, it could be you might be wanting to learn, you might be wanting to make a difference in society, you might be obviously wanting to make a living, you need to survive, and with time, if you grow, fame and fortune. Again, for different businesses, let's say if you start products, or you said makeup, what was it? What product was it?
Yeah, like makeups.
Yeah, so it could differ for you as well. You want to start a business and then get famous, make a fortune, make a living, and obviously as you go on the way, learn. So you need to make sure that you ask these questions to yourself, that which of these points do you want to achieve first. We can use this diagram, the market funnel, to describe business development further and understand business development in a more efficient way. I think when I was doing my research on this topic, I realized that business development is very similar to sales and management. They're very closely related, and people actually end up confusing themselves with it. So the first part of the diagram, attract prospects, attract potential buyers. Now this can be used to relate business development to marketing. So when you're trying to develop your business, you obviously need to market your business. So by doing that, you attract the potential buyers and influence and referral sources. So you can say that there are two types of marketing. At first, you try to tell people about your product, just inform them about the product, what you're trying to sell. And the second part of marketing is when you encourage them to buy your product. So you need to understand that these are very close related to business development. The second and third point, you can very much integrate them with sales. Business development, as I said, is very close related to sales. So once you have informed the people about your product, the buyers about your product, you need to convince them. And again, it's very close related to sales. You need to have good sales person strategies and abilities to sell your products to the people and make sure that they continue buying your product over and over. Until now, are there any questions? If you have any questions? No? So move on. So there are obviously a lot of business development strategies when I was doing my research, but I shortlisted a few very important and basic ones that I think can be very helpful. The first one, networking. Now, this is obviously the most important business development strategy. Now, networking is, I think it's a very broad, it's very big, where you can shortlist this into different types of networking. Now, what is networking? You might go, as a businessman, you might go to a conference and then you meet other people, other businessmen, all that's networking. You might let's say, you start talking to other businessmen on Instagram, Facebook, social media, that's networking. Right now, you guys over here, you might be future entrepreneurs, you're networking right now, you're meeting other business owners. So networking can be very broad, but I think it's the most fundamental, the starting point of every business and business development. Second, very closely related to networking, referrals. When you network, when you meet new people, you end up needing them at some point of your life, some point of your business life. Let's say that you need to make an order very, very quickly, or you need an order very in the next week or something. You might use your contact you made a few weeks ago, and you can take advantage of that and probably profit from it. I think this is very important that you network and then you use your contacts as referrals. The third point, sponsorship and advertising. This is, I think, when it comes to business development, sponsorship is key, because I'll give you an example from my personal experience. Last summer I was working with my friend in Dubai. His dad owns a business, so I decided to do an internship there. And we very simply came up with an idea. Cricket is it's a very common sport in Dubai. So we thought that why not we start a tournament, a cricket tournament in Dubai, and use the company's name to start the tournament. So all we did was play a tournament, enjoy ourselves. We invited people from all over Dubai and used that name, the company name, on the board. So people came over there, they saw the name of the company got famous, it was all over Facebook. And so by not only did people come and enjoy themselves over there, they got to know about the product. So I think this is very important. And advertising, so by sponsoring that event, we advertise in a very cheap way. So we didn't have to post in magazines or newspapers, but through sponsorship we were able to advertise the product. One very old way of marketing or business development strategy is outbound telephone and mail. This has been used for quite a few years now, and it's very simple. You list down a few company names and you just call them or just type a mail to them. Very simple, very simple way to market your product through leadership and content marketing. So as a leader, you can go to seminars, you can go to conferences, and then you can give a talk over there, tell people about your product. This is very important as a leader. Speaking at Target Conference, as I said the previous point, video blogging. I think this is a very good point because you can today's world, because of technology, social media, it has become very simple to market your product. You can do it on Instagram by simply blogging your product or online on websites. This is video blogging. The next point is creating downloadable content. Again, using the internet and social media, you can very easily market your product. Another important point: publishing written blogs and digital ads. Digital ads, we'll be talking more about it in the next round of videos actually, but I think I'll give you an example of Google Ads. You don't pay as much as you do on, let's say, TV ads, but the audience is much more larger because let's take an example of you want to buy shoes. So you go online, you type whatever shoes you want to buy, and whichever person or business paid for that Google ad will come up right on top of Google. And you are very much, you click on that and then you go to the website. So I think Google Ads is one example which you can use for your business, and it's proven to be very helpful for many businesses, and I think you guys can use that as well. Any questions so far? Okay, so a few key points here. When you're trying to develop your business, you need to ask yourself, as I said previously, a few questions. A few more questions here. Which aspects of the business are most critical? So when you go on to develop your business, you cannot obviously develop each and every part of your business. You need to decide which one is more critical, which one is more important to develop. That could be your marketing, it could be your sales, it could be your product itself. So you need to shortlist that which one are you going to work on first. Because if you sit down and say that I'm going to work on the whole business itself, it might not work because you need to go slowly, go step by step. Which aspect needs to be done well and which one's exceptionally well. So again, similar point that you can't just go out there and start developing the whole business. You need to decide that, okay, the marketing part has to be done first and has to be done more efficiently, and then we're going to move towards the sales. And then the business. There's always one part of the business, one critical part of the business that if you deal with it in a wrong manner, it could hurt the entire business. It could be different for every business. Let's say if you want to improve your product and you end up changing the product in a way that it could affect the business in a negative manner, it could sink the entire business. So you need to make sure that whenever you are developing certain parts of your business, you make sure that you don't end up hurting the entire business while trying to develop the business. So these 3 points, again, interrelated with each other, are very important when you are developing the business. Moving on to further key points, is there alignment with the other elements? So business development, as I said, is very closely related to sales, management, and the other aspects of the business. So you need to make sure that you interrelate all these aspects together. And why is the plan most logical? So you obviously can't have just one plan. You need to have multiple plans, because let's say if one plan fails, you move on to the next one. The next one doesn't work, you move on to the third one. And once you have the plans shortlisted, you need to decide that which one is more logical. And it might be so that the first plan you made is not logical enough when you compare to the third one or the second one. So it is very important that you have multiple plans when you work towards business development. So, where do you start from? I think very key point over here is what talent and expertise you need. Now, okay, I'll explain the first and the second point together. What talent and expertise you need and how will you attract that talent. So it could be that you might be looking for the younger generation. You might be looking to contact and get employees from university graduates. So you need to decide that what workforce do you need to reach your goals, and then where are you gonna get that workforce from? Okay, so that's the end of the business development part. Is there any questions or any type of suggestions you'd like to make? In queues for your food. These two brothers changed the whole system around. They came up with a new strategy of working efficiently, where your order would be received in 30 seconds. I think it was less than 1 minute, and you could eat right there and throw it in the trash. There's no waste material. And so they came up with this and it revolutionized the whole industry. The food industry was completely changed by McDonald's. But they were not that famous back then. It was just one store in California. They tried growing their business into other states in the United States, but they failed because they thought that it was just the two brothers, so they couldn't maintain the quality. So in order to maintain the quality, they stayed just in California. You can just change the slide. And then came this guy, Ray Kroc. He bought the, okay, I won't directly go to the buying part. So this guy came in and he used to sell, if I'm not wrong, milkshake machines, I think ice cream machines. He used to sell machines and he came to McDonald's just to sell a machine, and he was very surprised by the way they were. And so he said that he would want to help them by opening McDonald's in other states. He did that, they started working together, and then one by one he kept on increasing his ownership, he kept on increasing the number of stores he owned, and then there came a time where he came up with his own company, and they came up with a strategy that they started buying land instead of just McDonald's. So they owned McDonald's where it was made, the land. And that was a very good strategy, and in the end he ended up buying McDonald's for 2.7 million. So we hear McDonald's, but that's actually not the name. This guy owned it, the McDonald's brother. In the end, they were nothing. So this guy is the main guy in what we eat today. Just a few facts again. He opened the franchise and launched McDonald's Corporation, eventually buying out the McDonald's brothers in 1961. When I say buyout, it was a very interesting meeting where they had a handshake meeting and they said that they'll be getting money from year to year, but in the end it was just a handshake deal, so they never got the money they were supposed to get, and they were supposed to get much more money than they were supposed to, but they never got the money. The number of McDonald's outlets would top 1,000 before the end of the decade, and today we have thousands of stores all around the world, and they are earning billions of dollars. And this is a very famous quote by Ray Kroc: "If any of my competitors were drowning, I'd stake the horse in them and turn on the water." Now, it's a very, you can say, a very dangerous strategy. I would not like to read the whole thing, but this guy is a kind of businessman who would do anything to compete, anything to win, and that's what made him so successful. I'd like to relate this to business development. These are his 10 rules. For each and every one of you who is here today, obviously with a vision that you want to improve your business, you want to expand your business, you want to start your own business, I think these 10 points can be a starting point for each and every one of you. The first point, having a big vision. I think it is very important that you think big. If you think that you want to just open a small store on the streets for the next 30 years of your life, you're not getting anywhere. You need to have a big vision, you need to think big, that I'm going to expand my business from place to place instead of just sitting in one place for the rest of my life. So you need to think big. Going to work on the business. Create opportunities. Now, there is a difference between innovation and invention. Some people invent and some people innovate that. Now, you can have many examples for that, but this guy, he did not innovate McDonald's. He did not invent it, he innovated it. So I think that is a very important point, that you do not need to start your business from scratch. You can take someone else's idea and you can build on it. Next point, love what you do. I would not ask you to do a business in which you're not interested in doing. Do something that you want to do, because in doing that you'll be interested in for the rest of your life, and it will just improve your business. Be a risk taker. I think business, a very important point. Business is directly related to the risk you take. The more risk you take, the more chances you have to grow. Know your business. It's a very simple point. As a businessman, as a business owner, you need to know each and every point of your business if you want to grow, if you want to develop your business. Shoot for perfection. Make sure that each and every section of your business, each and every part of your business is perfect. Teamwork is the key to success. You cannot build an empire, you cannot build a firm on your own. You need a good team. Again, that relates to recruitment. You need to have a good HR team. You need to make sure that you recruit the right people, because if you have a big vision, you can't reach it without a good team. This is a very important point if you are looking to develop your business. And the last point is always stay grounded. You can look at this point in different ways. Always stay grounded. That you need to keep your options open. You need to stay, you can say, low key. You can't, if your business was profitable in 1 year, you can't just say that, okay, this was enough profit for the next 10 years, now I'll just keep on working like that. You need to make sure that you earn that same profit for the next 2 years, the next 3 years, and you keep building on that, instead of just saying that, okay, I earned this much profit and well, that's it for me. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Online campaign. So why I choose this topic? Because it's my favorite part of marketing. All my experience is about digital marketing, and my favorite event and my most successful experience come from online campaign. So I want to introduce some of my ideas about it. So next. So today we're gonna talk about online campaign in that 4 aspects. The first is research. It's like before you're doing the campaign, you need a research to figure out what should you do, what's your segment market, what's your targeting people, and the second is design. It's like you design the whole activity because it's online campaign is a long-lasting activity. Like it's 1 week, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks. So you need a schedule. So the design is to design the schedule and the every activities on each day. And the third one is implement. It means that put your online campaign into reality. And the last one is review. Means after the online campaign, you want to do a review to figure out what's your advantages and what's your disadvantages and how can you improve yourself in next time. Next, sharing it. That's 3 cases I just selected from my cases because it's very typical. The first is that, firstly, I want to explain what the case is. The case is like online campaign, means that you focus online and your activities mostly in online. And the second thing is that you choose your very small group of market. It's like a small group of people. It's very specific. And you targeting this kind of people, you do some campaign towards them and to attract them to join your products, to pay for you, like something like this. So that's my cases. And the first one is that for the students choosing the wrong major, we recommend them that global volunteer product is a possible solution for them. It's like we found, after research, we found that a lot of students, they choose the wrong major in university and they are very upset and desperate every day. So how can we help them? And we try to persuade them that our product is your solution. And the second is, I just heard that some audience is English course manager. Yes, I have an internship in an online English course platform, and my job is to attract more students to sign our class. So we want to do online campaign to the students that need pass the English exam in my country, and we want to tell them that you can join our product, our course, and we can help you to pass it in 2 months. And the whole online campaign is about how to persuade them, how to tell them it's a possible solution for them. And the third cases I have to before is like it's very interesting. For young people sleeping late every day, we provide them a group. If they join us, we will provide them some activities to help them to sleep earlier every day. Young people these days, sometimes they stay up every day, but not because they have a lot of work to do, just because they may be addicted to social media or watching some videos, and then like they sleep at 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. and tomorrow they have maybe an early class in the morning or some work, so they can't finish it properly. So they need to change their body clock, but they can't. So we provide this group to help them. That's my cases, and I will divide it into every part in my explanation. So let's go on. So the first thing is that research I just mentioned. So next, so why you need this research? Everyone has been doing marketing. You know that marketing research is like a very important part of marketing, because without research, your marketing is meaningless. First, you need to know your market during research, and the second, after you know your market, you need to match your market with your targeted people and your product. So you need to find your targeting people who will, interested in your product. And the third one is that find your targeting people's demand, because your product is it's a product that match with their demands. And so that's the questions you must ask yourself when you're doing the research. And the next, please. And that's the example. So what's the results of a research? First is data. You need a lot of data and you need to create charts. And after all this analysis, so what conclusion you need? You need a sentence. What kind of sentence? It's a sentence like a small group of people need something. Like students choosing the wrong major, they need a volunteer project to help them. Maybe they can, during the holidays, they can go to another country to do a volunteer, and then they will know more. They will know more about themselves, and they will know that which major they really fit for. So they can change their study ways maybe. So that's kind of people. They need some kind of thing. And the second is like young people sleep late. They need some help to restart their body clock. And that's a sentence, the same sentence. And the third one is that a lot of students that they can't pass their English exam and they need to graduate on time, so they need our course. So that's the result of your research. A special sentence, someone needs something, and the thing is that your product. And next. So the second part is activity design. It's the most important thing before you're doing an online campaign, because nowadays the whole internet is about content. If you have good content, you can attract more people. So how can you design a good content? I think for online campaign, the most important thing is like interesting. You must make your content very interesting. You must make your targeting people interested in your campaign. So I think you have all heard a lot about like online campaign, like giving away. If you give me a like, and I will give you away some gifts. Maybe I will choose some people from the 100, and I will give you a gift. And that's kind of online campaign you think, but it's not really, because it's based on offline. You must have a product offline, and then you give them product offline. So you do the online campaign based on that you have money and you have a lot of things to give away. So you do this online campaign. But my online campaign is like I have good content. I use my content to make others interested in myself. So that's different. Next. Yes. So the first to design online campaign is choosing a media. Like I'm working in a startup in Serbia now, and I'm working for a 3D animation company. And my job is to do the digital marketing, and my media is Facebook and Instagram, because the people here use Instagram and Facebook. But in my country, some internet wars, so not a lot of people will use Instagram and Facebook. So the marketing in my country is totally different. So which media we choose? We choose WeChat. WeChat is like WhatsApp, but it's more than WhatsApp. People use it to chatting, but they have a lot of other functions. Like that's my WeChat, and I screenshot it here. And we have moments that people can share their thoughts and their pictures in moments, like Facebook and like Instagram, because you can share your pictures and your sentences. And they have a subscription account, and then you can post some articles. So the promotion articles is the main channel I use, because everyone in my country use WeChat, and they use moments to share this kind of articles. So it's like if you attract one people and he share the article into his moments, and his friends all can see, like Facebook. So one thing that if you have some relationship with China and you want to do marketing in China, I highly recommend WeChat rather than Instagram and Facebook. And we have other channels like Weibo or something, but I think WeChat is best. So that's my advice. And next. So the second is that you must set your goals before your the whole campaign. Because your goal is to sell your product or to earn money or to do something. That's the most important thing because you don't want to work all your work meaningless, right? So you need your goals. So ask your question. What kind of results you want to achieve? How many global volunteer products you want to sell? And how many people you want to attract to your online English courses? So that's kind of thing. So there are some examples. Like I want to sell global volunteer products in ASEAN, and I want to sell my CET for English courses designed for the people who can't pass it. So that's my point. And next. Yeah, the third one is brainstorm. So how to make this online campaign very, very interesting. You need to, with your team together, to design this the whole activities. How to make it more interesting. Ask yourself two questions. How can we attract them? Them means you're targeting people. And the second, which is the best activity type. So you need to choose an activity type and they will most interested in because you want to attract them. So that's my cases. Like how can I attract people that maybe they tried 3 times, but they finally 3 years they can't pass their English exam, and 2 months later they're gonna graduate. So they need to pass this English exam before they graduate. So how can I attract this kind of people? They are in urgent need, right? So the first thing, the most important thing for me to do is to let them trust me. My course is really helpful. So how can I make them trust me? We choose a type of storytelling. Our past students, they have choosing our classes, they have the same situation with the students who can't pass it. But finally, after they taking our class, they pass it. So we write a promotion article and make this kind of students, our past students, to tell their stories. So our potential customers will think, oh, this is a useful product. Maybe I can take them and I will graduate on time too. So that's the way to make them to believe us. Because the first thing, the most important thing, and the most hardest part is that we want them to believe us. We want their trust because they are in urgent need and they need a very reliable maybe agency to provide them some help. So, and the second cases is that young people sleep late, I just mentioned. So how can we help them? Like some people, last time my friends told me that if she will, let them to work out every day, let them to work out, do some exercise or eat some medicine. But you need a platform to do. My group, in the end of this article, I post this QR code. And in WeChat, if you post this QR code, and they can scan it with their phone, and then they will join our group. That the group is about to help them sleep earlier every day, to provide them different activities every day. Maybe today is what kind of exercise you do will help you sleep earlier. And the second day is like which kind of medicine maybe you can eat to help you sleep earlier. The third day is that how can you change yourself's habit, your habit every day? How can you make yourself more regular? And maybe the first day is different things. So we arrange a schedule in this group for 2 weeks. And people will think, oh, that's the platform I need because I can't control myself. I need some others to do these things with me together. So that's why we create this platform because they will be interested in because they think it will really help them. And this online campaign is totally helped by me, and it's turned out to be very, very, very successful because I write a promotion article and at last 200 people joined my group through this QR code. And in the future 2 weeks, we have a lot of different activities every day and to help them sleep earlier. So I also sell my products in this project because in this group. So because why I create this group because I want to promote my Global Volunteer project because my targeting people from Global Volunteer project and students sleep late is the same group of people because they are more open-minded and maybe they are addicted to internet, maybe they are university students, so that's what we need. So I sell my products in this, and finally that 2% buy my product because it's very expensive product, so the conversion rate is already very high. And last part. The first one is timeline design, timeline setting, because your online campaign is very long, I just mentioned. You need a very detailed timeline, like which kind of tasks you set every day and your which team member will take it. Because you do an online campaign always with your team, not yourself. So who will do something, and you need to set everything very detailed, like deadline and what kind of thing you want, and task setting and who will check it, and you must setting every day's timeline into hours. Like in the morning, the first 3 hours, what do you do? And the second hour, what do you do? And in the afternoon, it has 3 working hours. The first hour's task, the second hour's task, the third hour's task. Because doing this, you can track your tasks very detailed and very efficient. Because you need to, fulfill your plan. And the last one is that KPI setting is also for tracking that after this campaign. So how's your results? How's the results going? You need KPI. So what KPI means? It means key performance indicator. It's like we set some data, and it's like a data standard. If you fulfill it, you are a successful activity. Like in my course, English course selling, how many students I want to attract it? Like during this campaign, I want 100 more students join our class. So that's my KPI. So in the last I want to do an online campaign to promote my Instagram account, and I want to attract more than 200 followers. And after this campaign, did I fulfill it? You can very easy to measure because it's a number. You just measure it by a number. And last. Yes, and implement and strategy changing. This part I want to talk about that during your implement, your reality is usually different from your mind setting because it's always changing. So what should you do when maybe the reality is not as you thought? Maybe you wanna raise more 200 followers, but you already passed 1 week, but your followers is still not grow very fast, and you can't fulfill your goals. So what can you do now? What can you do when your reality is not as good as your mind setting? So that's what I'm gonna talk about. It's like strategy changing. I want to give an example that just now I mentioned that we provide the students choosing the wrong major, we provide them our global volunteer product to help them to know themselves better and to make themselves know more which kind of major they fit for. So after doing this online campaign, we found that the reality is different as we thought, because we got a lot of comments of our articles. Commonly, our comments is like 20 or 30, but of one of our promotion articles of the people choosing the wrong major, our comments got 100. We got 100 comments. So we think about why these articles, suddenly got so many comments, because our real audience number is the same. So why? Because they have a lot of things to say about their major. Because they have the same feeling with our promotion articles. They think that, oh, that's me. You talking, the people is me. So I have a lot of things to say. So it's a great chance for us. It's a great chance because they feeling that they trust us and they feel the same with us. So it's a great chance for us to grab them to our customer. So what should we do? We create a platform, extra platform. It's not in our timeline or not in our original plan, but we provide them a platform for all the comments they can share in one group of their experience, and our MC I mean, our manager will, get them in some time. Like they discuss a lot, and our manager will just pop up and to say, maybe you can know more about our volunteer, and maybe they can help you, and he will introduce it, and maybe they will feel like, oh, I'm interested in you, and they will sign our project. So we just, create a platform for them and also for us to sell our products, because they have a lot of things to say, and we create a platform for them to say and also sell our products. And the last part is actually part 4. Sorry, is the last part is review. So what should you do after an online campaign is review. So review is very important because you need to improve yourself's marketing strategy every time, because you want your online campaign is better and better one by one. So how can you do that? The first thing is review. During the review, you review every detail in your campaign with your team member, and you need to conclude your advantages, your disadvantages, your stresses, your weaknesses. So in the end, you can give a report and for reference, and next time you can use it and refer to it and make your online campaign better. So that's all.
My name is Maria Huri. I'm 23 years old, and I'm from Morocco. I came to Indonesia for an internship here in startup as a digital marketer. So today I'm here to talk about digital marketing in general, but I choose to talk about social media marketing and how can social media marketing improve your company and develop your products. So today it's really important for your business, especially when it's still a small business, to go social. You can use Facebook or YouTube, Tumblr or LinkedIn to showcase your product and to attract new targets and new customers to use your product and to buy your services or products. So I wanted to ask you guys, what kind of social media you are usually using in Indonesia or other countries? Instagram, Indonesia.
Yeah, Indonesia.
Facebook. Sorry?
Facebook.
Yes, yeah.
Twitter. I'm using YouTube for my food products.
YouTube for what?
For my food products.
Okay. So in Morocco, we usually use Facebook and YouTube more. We are using Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube, but Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube are the most common social media in Morocco. A lot of companies use this kind of social media to attract new customers and to show their products and to target new kind of customers, not only the offline marketing, but also online marketing.
Social media. There's absolutely no way you haven't heard of it yet. Well, for the last few years, social media has completely changed the internet. Actually, it has changed the whole world, and also the world of marketing. So, what are the reasons for your business to start utilizing these new forms of communication as soon as possible? These are the 7 most important ones. Number 1, showcase your brand. Social media offers another marketing channel for creating brand awareness, relationship building, or driving new sales. So why not use it, especially when it's free, right? Number 2, develop a loyal community. People enjoy being part of a business that is proactively building a lively community. Such an online community can help you establish an emotional connection between your company and your prospects, which is essential for your long-term success. Number 3, improve customer service. Social media is a great feedback source. Enabling your prospects to communicate with your company and each other can greatly improve your customer service and increase brand trustworthiness. Number 4, increase digital exposure. Interacting in social networks can significantly increase your online presence. Social media leads to massive exposure due to its worldwide access, sharing capabilities, and huge amount of daily users. Number 5, boost traffic and search engine rating. Social media is a major lead generator, and it constantly brings high-volume traffic to your website. They can also help with SEO, since search engines significantly reflect your social media content. Number 6, expand sales in reaching new audience. Listening to your prospects on social networks can help you respond to their specific needs. This will most likely cause an increase in sales, but also expand your customer base. Number 7, cut marketing costs. Compared to traditional channels like print or advertising, social media marketing is affordable for any business. Remember that the channel itself is free. Managing social media, taking care of all the content, tweets, or feedback can get pretty time-consuming, and you need to focus primarily on your business. So how about leaving the social stuff to us? No worries, we have plenty of experience to take complete responsibility of your social presence. So get in touch with us. We're ready to start today.
As you can see in the video, today it became something really important for companies to use social media and to use marketing digital to reach bigger audience and to reach bigger customers. And here I will talk to you about the case of digital in Morocco. So the total population of Morocco is 25 million. Internet users are 22 million, so it's really big. Active social media users are 16 million. Unique mobile users are 25 million, and active mobile social users are 15 million. So as you can see, internet users in Morocco are 22 million. So that's why in the last years, a lot of companies and businesses in Morocco started to use digital marketing and as a really big and primordial strategy for their business to attract new customers and to showcase their products. So, what is this social media thing all about? So, social media is not a traditional marketing, it's not a classic advertising, and neither just a Facebook profile, but it is the integration of messages with technologies, images, video, audio, and conversations that are joined by more and more people every day. So, using social media is more than just sharing contents on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, but it's more of really big strategy that the company should think about before implementing inside the company. So, why social media works? Human being is social, so people are always trying to find new ways to contact other people, to talk to other people, and to find maybe new products or new services to use. We love telling others stories and sharing contents and ideas. We tend to like what our friends like, so when you see that one of your friends are maybe sharing products or something in their Instagram page or Facebook page and talking about it, they use it and they like it. So it directly makes you think about that product and thinking more about buying it or to try it. And we want to share it with other friends. Social media strategy, content and activation. So in this part I will talk to you about social media strategy and digital marketing strategy inside the company. And here are some 6 essential elements for successful digital marketing strategy. Consumer-focused digital marketing strategy. First of all, an engaging, responsive website. So first of all, the website should be a really attractive website with very interesting content that can attract the people who will visit your website, mobile friendly and engaged visitors, and clear call to action. Visual search campaign. So when the consumer tries to search about your company in Google or anywhere, the title that shows website. Email marketing. So today it's really important to use email marketing as one of your digital and social media marketing to showcase your product and to try to reach more clients and new clients. So the company should send emails and mails to its target to try to explain to them more about what they are doing and what about their products to attract them to use their products. Add social media to the mix. Social media are really important for your branding strategy, like to build a brand awareness and industry authority, target traffic, and great consumer care. Join the dots with content marketing, coordinate campaigns, so you need campaigns to market your product, plan your publications, and organize contributors, manage the editorial process. Last is measure, tweak, and improve. Conversion tracking, social insights, and key performance indicator, campaign tracking, and web analytics. Key objectives and strategies. First of all, increase website traffic and keep customers returning. Keeping customers engaged with content and linking to your product, to your website. Drive sales and encourage social recommendations. How? Giving them the chance to discover, engage, and share content around your business, and raise awareness around your business website and products by rewarding consumer loyalty with promotions. So how can a business drive loyalty within the target? The business should use promotions and launch activities, new updates and promotions, new activities and new updates. The key is on an always on strategy where continuous engagement through regular content, promotions and conversation will drive interest and loyalty of consumers. Content strategy. Content strategy is really important for the business. Like the company should share interesting content that will attract the consumers and make him more interested to read about your product or about your business in general. So before entering social media, it's important to define what the voice of your small business will be and what content and messaging we want to relay to the audience. First of all, it's really important to be creative. The capacity of creating something new and valuable or a unique idea as artists or art lovers. Most of the community will require this sentiment coming from artwork. Inspiration. Related to the previous content, your community will look forward to some inspiration and high quality of the content and pictures you will be sharing on your maybe Facebook page or Instagram page. Both creativity and inspiration will be improved with a high quality feel to be spread through the campaign. Social media activation. You need to build a really active social media, active Facebook page or Instagram. So once we've defined the content to communicate, we have to determine how to communicate it and where. According to our previous research, the campaign will be focused on two different areas. First of all, your community, social networks, and amplification, influencer, blogs, or advocates. So using influencer and bloggers to showcase your products and to make their followers use your products. They will help you out to spread the word, so their role and value for us is crucial. As opposite to your community, they will be blogger strategy. So as I already said, bloggers and influencers are really important for the business to attract the consumers and the clients. So reviews. Once a month, a blogger will review a product. Posts will be also mentioned on Facebook and Twitter. Blog events and offline events with bloggers will increase the possibility to succeed. One event with 10 bloggers by the end of the current social media campaign. So bear in mind that social media is not directional, it's not advertising, and social media works, but it's not for free. Your small business will have to be ready to pay for social ads, promotions, and promotions or content price. Social media must be congruent with websites and brand. Coordination between your small business and your online marketing consultant. Social media is a matter of time to keep everything updated and time to wait for results. If you follow the rules, you will see satisfying results coming from your social media activity.
Engine, and with Google it can provide you guys with all of the information about website, image, music, any kind of questions that pop up in your mind. And for the decision making when you want to buy a product, it's the same. When you think in your mind that you want to buy a product, the most popular behavior I think is you will Google it. Every customer will Google what kind of product they want to buy, then they will decide when to buy it, where to buy it, and from whom to buy it. And all the Google company and all the digital marketers, they know about this, and they want to take advantage of Google. So that's the reason why people come up with Google AdWords. So anyone here in that room can tell me the definition of Google AdWords. So like, you don't need to tell me about the professional definition, you just need to tell me very basic thing about Google AdWords. So who gonna be the first one to say about this? Anyone? Is it difficult for you guys? Want to say? Yeah, please.
I think when you, for example, if you have a YouTube channel and you want to promote it, so you want to get paid for the things you're doing,
Yeah.
so you use Google AdWords, like the advertisements that come at the beginning of the video or in the middle. That's what I know.
Okay, so by the way, what's your name? Yeah, thank you for
Thank you.
Thank you. And now for other people, in order to understand more deeply about this, like, let me give you guys an example. Now in my mind, I want to buy running shoes. So, okay, so here on the top so is Google Ads. The small one here, exactly Google AdWords. So, like, if you are not familiar with Google AdWords before now, you have to remember that Google AdWords is a kind of very simple pay-per-click service, and from that, marketer can create and run their own ads to promote for their business, for their product. And if you guys have a suitable and the right keyword list, I can say for sure that the marketer can reach the right audience who has interest in their own product, their own business. So, still have interest? Great. Now I will give you guys more reasons why people should choose for Google AdWords, but you don't know. You don't need to remember it. You just need to know the thing I just showed you guys. Okay, so let's move to the reason why you need to use Google AdWords as a kind of marketing channel. That's all. There's 4 main reasons why Google AdWords can beat our competitor. The first one, Google AdWords is measurable and flexible. The second one is it's very, very faster than SEO. The third one, it can control your advertising costs. And the last but not least, it can help you to beat your competitors. Cool, right? So let's move. I will explain more about this kind of reason for measurable and flexible. Google AdWords is very measurable because they show you some kind of metrics to measure your to measure your efficiency as, like you can use conversion rate, click-through rate, pay-per-click. There's a lot of metric for you guys to use. And for the flexible, for each digital marketer, when they want to create their own content, they can create their own specific keywords, and at the same time, they can create their own ad extensions. Then they can narrow their audience and leverage their kind of display network. And now for the reason why Google AdWords is better than SEO. Anyone here don't know about SEO? Let me read a little bit about the definition of SEO. It's a kind of search engine optimization, and it's a kind of set of tools when people want to have a better performance of their page in search engine. I'm sorry. And the most popular search engine now is Google. And so SEO is kind of very good way for you guys to put your website in the long term. But the more drawback of SEO is that it takes the marketer a very long time before they can notice the results and before they can prove themselves. But this is not the case with Google AdWords. When your Google Ads go live, you can get instant results, like instant visitor data. It's very good. And the next part is that Google AdWords can help you guys to control your advertising costs. Why I said that? Because you can set up your own budgets for on a daily basis on the whole campaigns. And you don't worry that you will grow over your budget, but there's a limitation that your amount of ads will decrease when your budget gets lower. But don't worry about that, because you can balance your budget very quickly and very conveniently. So I think the scalability of Google AdWords is very nice option for you guys if you guys want to get a large quantity of this in a short period of time. So let's try the Google Ads. So far I talked about the definition of Google AdWords and the reason why people want to choose Google AdWords, like instead of other kinds of marketing channels. But there's a lot of people who would love to use Google AdWords, but not much people can use it in a very good way. So now we are here to find the way to optimize our Google AdWords. So for my own experiment, I want to share with you guys about two ways, very simple and very basic ways to optimize your Google AdWords. The first is the first one is you should have the good keyword selection. You can have your own keywords by keyword planner, and then you better the performance of your click-through rate by negative keywords. Then you can control who will see your ads by using keywords magnetize. And okay, let me introduce you how to use keyword planner. Sorry, I forget. What is Keywords Planner? Keywords Planner is the kind of tools provided by Google, by which you can see the keyword audience, and then you can see the traffic and competition of that keyword. Now, let's try it out. Google Ads, and here's a keyword planner. You can see, like, if we want to run a certain campaign, and my company, the product is shoes. So I want to find some keyword related to the shoes, and I think of running shoes. But it's a very short tail keyword, so I want to find more long tail keyword in order to have a better bid, better price. running what we're gonna have here. Okay. Google will provide us with additional keywords. You can see here we have Adidas jogging shoes and sneakers sport, and with keywords planner, you not only have the keyword idea, but you also have the multimeter, the average amount of time when people search for those keywords. You can see the competition of that keyword. The keyword for Adidas jogging shoes is very high. Meanwhile, the keyword sneakers sport is medium. And you can see the top page bid, I mean the pricing of the keywords. And for those information, you can estimate, and then you can consider and decide which keyword's gonna be the best one for you guys, and gonna give the raise the click of your ads and increase the awareness of your product. Okay, that's all about the keywords planner. I think it's a very simple method, but very useful for all the marketers when they want to use Google AdWords. And for the negative keywords, you can see. I'm sorry, it's too fast. For negative keywords, it's a kind of things when you want to run your own ads. And for example, come back to the example that my company sells the men's shoes. You can see men's shoes. So I don't want any keywords related to girls or women appears in my ads. So no girls and women are allowed. That's a kind of negative keywords. Okay, get it better. So next one, when you want to optimize your Google AdWords, you have to view the performance by the location. Why I have to say that? Because imagine that you want to run the ads in the whole country of Indonesia, but your location is in different country. So you can see that it's not effective any longer. And for the location later, they can help you to find out which place is have better performance. And for example, when I run the keywords in the whole country of Indonesia, and I find out that the keywords have better performance in Surabaya or in Jakarta, I will come up with another idea, strategic idea, and set up another new ads to run just look specifically in Surabaya and in Jakarta. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the end of my presentation about Google AdWords. I think I don't want to say something very professional, but it's my real and my own experience. I hope that it can bring you guys a deeper insight about Google AdWords and can help you guys to improve your own business. Any questions so far?
Yes, I've heard about like Google Analytics. Is it like what's the difference between like AdWords and Analytics function?
Yeah, like Google Analytics.
Yeah.
Google Analytics, actually it is a kind of method for you to review all of your digital marketing campaigns. For Google Analytics, you not only see the result of Google AdWords, but also you can review the result from Facebook ads, Instagram ads, a lot of kind of marketing channels. So I think it's a very, very wide topic to talk about. So maybe we can talk it later. You can find my personal information in LinkedIn